Daddy, why is she here? A little girl's heartwarming question reveals an incredible life-changing moment for a single father. Tom wiped the sweat from his brow, that familiar ache in his back a reminder of another long day at the garage. The sun was dipping low in the sky, painting the neighborhood in a warm, golden hue. 8-year-old Mia, with her wild curls and sparkling eyes, was tugging at his shirt, her laughter mingling with the rustle of the leaves. "Can we go to the park, Daddy?" she pleaded. He hesitated, but the shining anticipation in her gaze melted his heart, and in moments, they were off, their old pickup truck rumbling down the street. At Maplewood Park, laughter bubbled around them, children swinging and sliding, their joy a melody weaving through the crisp fall air. They spread a blanket beneath a massive oak, and Tom watched Mia race off into the playground, her spirit infectious. He couldn't help but smile as she spun around, arms wide like she could catch the breeze. That's when Mia stopped, her bright eyes fixating on a woman sitting quietly by a tree. Tom followed her gaze. The woman Lily had a frayed sign resting on her knees that read "Help Needed." Mia's innocent curiosity turned to him, her question piercing through the laughter. "Daddy, why is she here?" Tom's heart sank. He could feel the weight of the world on his shoulders, the shame of his own struggles clawing at him. She's just in a tough spot, sweetheart," he replied, trying to brush it off. But Mia's compassion glimmered in her gaze, and he felt exposed, forced to confront his biases. Here he was, a father struggling to keep his head above water, and instead of offering kindness, he felt a wave of disconnect. Yet, what could he say to her? As children continued to play without a care, Tom stood there, silenced by the glaring differences around them. He took a deep breath, feeling the million reservations in his chest, and reluctantly made his way over with Mia in tow. "Excuse me," he said to Lily, his voice unsteady. "Is there anything we can help you with?" The woman looked up, her eyes clouded with weariness, but a sad smile crossed her lips. As she spoke of her life, once filled with the hustle of running a small bakery before illness stripped it all away, Tom felt his heart break and expand simultaneously. Watching Mia's face light up with empathy, a friendship blossoming from shared ice cream cones and laughter at her stories, it struck him hard. This wasn't just charity, it was connection. A bond forming in the unlikeliest of places. Tom wrestled with guilt. His protective instincts surged against the lessons of kindness he had always strived to teach Mia. What if this was too much for her? The idea of bringing someone into their home, a stranger, felt like a risk he couldn't bear. Yet, as Lily showed Mia how to juggle oranges, the two of them cracking each other up, he felt torn. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let us continue. Days turned into weeks, the community began to rally around Lily, offering food, clothes, and support. Yet, all Tom felt was the weight of his own unresolved grief over his wife's passing still hanging over his head like storm clouds. Every kind gesture towards Lily felt like a reminder of his inadequacies as a provider, as a father. With community gatherings taking place, Tom found himself at a boiling point, especially when a supposed celebration of compassion spiraled into misunderstanding, forcing him to confront the beliefs he had taken for granted about kindness and neighborliness. And then, one afternoon, as he was about to step out to invite Lily for a meal, this act that frightened him more than it thrilled him. Mia looked up at him with those hopeful eyes and said, "Daddy, can we help her like she helps us?" In that moment, Tom realized he was at a crossroads. To embrace the friendship blooming in front of him meant opening not just his doors, but his heart, to a world that had become scarier without his wife. As Mia's words hung in the air, he contemplated what it truly meant to be a good father. Would he allow love and compassion to guide them, or would fear chain his heart forever? The choice loomed, heavy yet full of potential. Could this change everything? Tom sat silently, his heart a battlefield of emotions. He looked at Mia, so full of innocence and hope. She didn't see the world through the lens of his worries and fears. Perhaps that was the key. She saw connection, and he saw burden. As Mia ran off again to join Lily, Tom felt a shift within him, a subtle push toward something new. That warm autumn sun didn't just illuminate their little patch of grass, it seemed to shine a spotlight on his indecision. He had spent so long protecting himself and Mia from the world's chaos that perhaps he had forgotten how to embrace its goodness. The idea of letting Lily into their lives played like a broken record in his mind. Could she bring laughter back into their home? The possibility was unsettling yet exciting. Gathering his courage, he shuffled over to where Mia and Lily sat, both giggling at a clumsy attempt to toss a beanbag. "Hey, Lily," Tom began, his voice wavering. Would you like to come to dinner at our place?" Lily looked up, surprise and delight sparking in her weary eyes. "Are you sure?" "I wouldn't want to impose," Mia chimed in. "You're not imposing, you're our friend. Right, Daddy?" The weight of Mia's words hung in the air. It made Tom reconsider his reservations. Maybe friendship was exactly what they needed. "Okay, then. I'd love to hear more about your bakery," he offered with a soft smile. That small act of kindness broke the dam inside Tom. It felt strangely freeing, as if he had just shed his old skin. He sensed a warmth growing, the kind he hadn't felt since before his wife's passing. As they talked, laughter filled the air, and for the first time in a long while, he felt hope radiate through his heart. The days followed, and having Lily as a part of their routine brought unexpected joy. Mia and Lily collaborated on baking adventures in the kitchen, flour dusting their faces while Tom snapped pictures, trying to capture fleeting moments of laughter and fun. Each evening spent together wove a tapestry of friendship encompassing their small family, yet, with each passing day, Tom stared down his own guilt, a swirling chaos of past hurt and new happiness. Just when he thought they were stitching their hearts back together, the old memories clawed at him, fighting for attention. How could he move forward, allowing new love into their space, without addressing what they had lost? Those thoughts crowded his mind, nearly choking out the joy he felt with Mia and Lily. One evening, as they sat together on the couch watching old movies, Mia curled on Tom's lap, Lily nestled on the other side. Tom felt the swell of emotions bubble to the surface. He wanted to say something about his wife, to honor her memory. But the words failed him, locked behind fear and sadness. Mia's giggle broke through his silence. "This is the best night ever," she exclaimed. Tom looked at Lily, who had caught the flash of his uncertainty. In her eyes, he saw understanding and strength. She smiled softly, as if inviting him to trust her with his truth, and just like that, Tom realized he was standing on the edge of a fragile moment. It was time to face the pain buried deep within him. Could sharing that part of his past bring them closer, or would it jeopardize this beautiful new connection? With that question lingering in the air, Tom prepared to take his leap of faith. Would he find the strength to share the love he once knew, opening the door to healing for them all? The next afternoon, the sun was shining even brighter than before, spilling over the rooftops and casting long shadows across the yard. Tom had made a promise to himself: today would be the day. He would share a part of his past with Mia and Lily, and he could only hope it would bring them closer rather than tear them apart. As they set the table for dinner, excitement buzzed in the air. Mia was in her element, her tiny hands working diligently to place the colorful plates just right. She turned to Tom, her face glowing. "Can we have cake tonight, Daddy? The big chocolate one?" "Of course, sweetie, if we have enough left from our baking yesterday," he replied, trying to match her enthusiasm. Lily entered the kitchen with a cheerful hum. "What's this I smell?" she called out playfully, her eyes dancing with curiosity. Tom felt a warmth spreading in his chest, watching Mia jump up to hug Lily. The presence of laughter and companionship filled the space, yet as he glanced at his daughter, a familiar pang gripped his heart. Memories of their past dinners, once filled with his late wife's laughter, were still there, haunting him like shadows in a dark corner. The thought of talking about it made Tom's stomach twist. "Is everything okay?" Lily's voice cut through his swirling thoughts. Tom managed a nod, though it felt insufficient. I need to tell you both something tonight," he said, forcing the words out. When their eyes turned to him with such intent focus, he felt his resolve weakening. Maybe he wasn't ready for this. Mia's innocent question shattered his hesitation. "Daddy, why is she here?" She pointed to Lily, her little face scrunched up with confusion. "I mean, why is she living with us now? Is it because she's lonely?" The question hung in the air, heavy and poignant. Tom's heart stopped for a moment. What a leap of logic for his daughter to make. But she was right. Lily was alone in her way, and they had welcomed her into their fold like a new thread woven into an old fabric. For a second, Tom saw Lily's expression shift from delight to a flicker of uncertainty. He realized it wasn't just about Mia's innocent curiosity, it was about how ready they all were to accept what that meant. Tom inhaled deeply, taking in the stillness that had suddenly set in. "You're right, Mia. Sometimes people need a little extra love and support." He paused, letting the moment settle, then continued slowly, "Lily has been a really good friend to us, but it's important to understand what that means." Mia watched him, wide-eyed, and Tom saw the wheels turning in her mind as she contemplated friendship, loss, and the complexities of life that danced just outside her youthful innocence. "What if she becomes my best friend?" Mia asked innocently. The simplicity of her question felt like a balm to Tom's anxious heart. "Then that would be wonderful," he smiled, leaning down to ruffle Mia's hair. Yet the weight of his unshared memories loomed larger than ever. Dinner passed in a gentle flow, laughter mingling with stories of cupcakes and sprinkles, but Tom still felt the layer of apprehension pressing on his thoughts. Finally, after dinner, they settled back into the couch. The moment had arrived, his chance to voice his heart. "Can I tell you both something very important?" Tom's voice trembled slightly, but he pressed on, knowing that this was the leap he needed to take. As he prepared to share, Mia snuggled deeper into him and, almost instinctively, their hands intertwined. Tom couldn't help but feel a soft warmth ripple through him. But just as he was about to speak, the doorbell rang, echoing through the quiet room. Who could it be now? He felt a tight knot in his stomach. And why did that sudden chime feel like the perfect distraction? Tom took a deep breath, glancing at Lily and Mia. "Can you both wait here for a moment?" But even as he stood up, a nagging voice whispered within him, urging him to reconsider. Would it ever feel like the right time? Would he always find a reason to hold back? With uncertainty clouding his heart, Tom moved toward the door, the hope of connection pulling him forward. What awaited him on the other side could change everything. And so, he turned the handle slowly, opening a door to the unknown. Tom pulled the door open, and the bright afternoon sunlight spilled into the entryway, momentarily blinding him. He blinked a few times, squinting against the glare, and when his eyes adjusted, he found himself staring at an unexpected face. Standing there was his neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins. She was the kind of woman who filled the space around her with warmth, a soft smile playing on her lips and her gray hair pulled back into a neat bun. She held a platter covered in a vibrant checkered cloth, clearly brimming with homemade cookies. "Good evening, Tom," she greeted cheerfully, her voice bright and familiar. "I thought I'd bring over some of my chocolate chip cookies. You know, the ones everyone loves. I figured, with Lily moving in, it'd be nice to welcome her properly." Tom felt a rush of gratitude wash over him. "Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins. That's really thoughtful of you." He stepped aside to let her in, the tension in his chest loosening just a little. As Mrs. Jenkins set the platter down on the kitchen counter, Mia bounced over, eyes wide with excitement. "Cookies! Yay!" she exclaimed, launching towards the treat. "Just wait, sweetie. We need to wash our hands first," Tom said, his protective instincts kicking in as he ushered Mia back to the sink. It was a small moment, but it felt like normalcy amidst the complexity that hovered around them. Lily joined them, a hint of amusement on her face as she watched Mia dance from foot to foot. Tom caught her eyes, and for a moment, they silently recognized the burgeoning bond among them. Everything would be okay, wouldn't he it? Mrs. Jenkins pulled out a cookie from the platter and took a big bite. Delicious, if I do say so myself. She chuckled, and Mia laughed along, the sound of every giggle lifting Tom's heart a little further. Tom, Mrs. Jenkins said, wiping crumbs from her mouth, how's everything going here? I know you two are still finding your rhythm. Her eyes shifted between Tom and Lily, gauging the atmosphere and teasing out the emotions simmering just beneath the surface. Tom felt exposed, but he understood her concern came from a good place. We're getting there, he replied, trying to muster a confident tone. But I was actually about to share something important with them. Oh. Important news? Mrs. Jenkins chirped, her curiosity piqued as she leaned in closer, her expression eager. Tom shrugged lightly. It's just something from my past that I think they need to hear. Mia bounded back to his side, clutching one of the cookies in her tiny hands. Daddy, can we have them after dinner? She asked, a sugary grin plastered on her face. Tom felt a smile tugging at his lips. Yes, sweetheart. After dinner. Standing there, surrounded by laughter and scent of warm cookies, the weight of the world felt a little lighter. But as the moment lingered, Tom knew he had to pull the thread, to unravel the tapestry of his memories, and expose the hidden connections that could bridge them all together. Listen, Tom began, his voice gaining strength despite the knots in his stomach. Before I share what I have to say, I want you all to know that family comes in many forms. He glanced at Lily, her eyes focused on him, urging him forward, but just as he committed to speak more, the doorbell rang again, startling them all. This time, a hesitant energy crept in, beacons of anecdotal warmth extinguished for a heartbeat. Who could it be? Just a second, he called over his shoulder, a new wave of uncertainty washing over him. Was it fate urging him to share or yet another distraction? Tom turned the handle once more, wondering what revelations awaited him on the other side, and if this visit would lead to the breakthrough he desperately needed. His heart pounded harder as he opened the door, a swirl of dread and anticipation dancing within him. Who stood before him now, and would they change everything for him and for Mia? Tom opened the door slowly, his heart racing. An unfamiliar figure stood before him, a tall woman with dark hair cascading down her back. She looked worn yet vibrant, her eyes glimmering with unshed emotions. There was something hauntingly familiar about her, and this only heightened the tension brewing inside him. Can I help you? He asked, forcing the words out as his mind churned. The woman took a shaky breath. I'm sorry to intrude. I'm looking for Tom Harper. Is he here? That's me, he replied, narrowing his gaze. Who are you? Before she could answer, an unexpected noise pulled his attention away. Mia, curious about the pause, peeked around his leg and froze at the sight of the stranger. Daddy, who is she? Her innocent voice chimed, filled with both curiosity and concern. The woman's face softened as she knelt down to Mia's level, a hint of a smile creeping across her lips. Hi there, sweetie. My name is Emily. I knew your daddy a long time ago. Tom felt his breath hitch. Memories surged forward, jagged and intense. Emily had been part of a life he had buried, a past filled with chaotic twists and undeniable heartache. He hadn't thought about her in years, not since Mia. Let us go back inside, okay? Tom said quickly, his voice strained. He gently took Mia by the shoulder and guided her behind him, creating a shield. Mia, sweetheart, he forced a smile, will be just a minute. He turned back to Emily, his heart a cluttered mess. What do you want? Emily hovered in the doorway, her expression a mix of regret and sincerity. I came to explain some of the things I never finished saying. It's important. Can we talk? Uncertainty swallowed Tom whole. His instincts screamed at him to close the door, to protect his little girl and keep their world safe from this specter of his past. But as he glanced back at the kitchen, where laughter and the sweet scent of cookies filled the air, he hesitated. Mia tugged at his sleeve, her eyes wide with concern for the strange woman. Is she your friend, Daddy? Tom could barely choke out a reply. Not exactly. The word felt heavy on his tongue, laden with history and emotions he didn't want to confront. That he took a deep breath, the weight of his decision settling on his shoulders. I can't just kick you out. But I can't promise anything either. I understand, Emily replied, her voice steady now. But there are things you need to know. Things about your past that could change everything. Tom swallowed hard. Was he ready to dive into the chaos of his former life? The tapestry they were weaving together felt fragile enough. What more could it handle? Mia, sweetie, could you go back inside and help Mrs. Jenkins with the cookies? He asked gently, hoping to buy a little time. Okay. She chirped, oblivious to the tension, and darted away, leaving Tom alone with Emily. As the door shut softly behind Mia, Tom turned back to the woman in front of him. The storm of emotions swirled: anger, fear, and an unexplainable curiosity. Why now? He pressed, needing answers, needing to understand this sudden intrusion into a life he was gradually rebuilding. Emily hesitated, her eyes searching his, vulnerability flashing across her face. Because there is something you must know about Mia, something that could change everything for all of us. Tom's heart dropped again, unease curling in his gut. What kind of revelation lay ahead? He could feel the ground shifting beneath him. Would this unwelcome visit bring more chaos or finally piece together his fragmented world? Please, she whispered, her voice barely audible, just listen. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. Would the truth be their salvation or their undoing? Tom felt the air thicken with tension as he squared his shoulders. Standing before Emily, he grasped the reality of his choice. Discussing the past was like opening a door to a room best left shut. But the weight of her words hovered like a storm cloud, casting shadows on the fragile peace he fought to maintain. Tell me what you came here to say, he urged, trying to sound resolute, though his voice trembled with unease. Emily's fingers fidgeted with the hem of her shirt, eyes darting around as if searching for the right words. I didn't just disappear all those years ago, Tom. I had reasons. I had to protect myself, and I thought that meant staying away from you. But it's not just about us anymore. Mia, she needs to know. The mention of Mia cut through him like a knife. Whatever Emily had to say about their past was one thing, but his daughter's innocence made the entire situation more urgent. What do you mean she needs to know? Tom asked, his brows knitting together. Emily inhaled deeply, as if steeling herself against the truth that lay just ahead. Mia isn't just your daughter. She's my daughter too. Time seemed to freeze as Tom absorbed her words. A cascade of emotions surged through him, unease mixing with disbelief. What are you talking about? You remember that night? When everything fell apart? Emily's voice cracked, raw with emotion. I was pregnant, Tom. I didn't tell you because I thought it was best for you, for me. I thought you'd have a better life without me. Mia's laughter echoed from the kitchen, a sharp contrast to the revelation hanging between them. Tom could hardly process it. All these years, he has struggled, fought for the right to be a father, and now she stood before him, unearthing a past he thought he'd buried. So, you just left. You chose to disappear. And now you show up, claiming. His words fell out, tangled in disbelief. I thought it was over, that I could forget, Emily interrupted, her voice trembling. But Mia, she's the spitting image of us. I see it every time I look at her. And I've been haunted by the thought of her growing up without knowing her mother. Haunted? He echoed, anger flaring in him. What do you expect? To waltz back into my life after all this? After everything I've built? You didn't think I deserved at least a heads up? Emily's eyes filled with tears. I know I don't deserve anything. But you have to believe me. This wasn't easy for me. I just wanted to protect her. Protect you both. Protect us. By lying. His heart raced, a whirlwind of resentment battling against the glimmers of compassion that flickered in him. Yes. She exclaimed, stepping closer. But things have changed. I'm here because I've been sick, Tom. And I need you to understand that my time is limited. If I don't say something now, she could grow up thinking she has no one out there. A chill dragged through Tom, the gravity of her words settling in his chest. Was it true? Could he really unravel this tangled thread of fate, this life he had fought so hard to create? And what was at stake? Just then, the kitchen door swung open, and Mia, cake-covered hands proudly on her hips, beamed at them. Did I miss something? Are we having a party? Tom felt his heart twist. This delicate, vibrant little girl was caught in the crossfire of decisions he had yet to fully grasp. There was something bright and innocent about her, untouched by the shadows of the past that loomed over him. Not a party, Pumpkin, he replied, grabbing her hand, feeling the warmth in her tiny grip. But we might need to talk a bit longer. Mia looked up, confusion flickering across her face. Are you okay, Daddy? He smiled down at her, a facade of calm as he wrestled with the storm inside. Yeah, I'm okay. Just a little surprised. As he locked eyes with Emily over their daughter's head, the truths hanging in the air felt heavy and unyielding. No matter where this conversation led, one thing rang clear: the future was beginning to unfold in unpredictable ways. Are you ready for this? Emily whispered, bracing for Tom's response as Mia turned her small face toward the woman who had suddenly re-entered their lives. Tom's pulse quickened. The future felt like a chasm waiting to be crossed. Would facing the truth serve to heal or further unravel everything he held dear? He drew in a steady breath, knowing that the next words would change everything. I need to know everything. And just like that, they stepped into the unknown together, each moment echoing with possibilities, spiraling into the unpredictable path ahead. The kitchen was filled with the warmth of sunlight spilling through the window, but the atmosphere felt anything but bright. Tom knelt beside Mia, trying to maintain his composure as confusion washed over her innocent face. The chaos of adult emotions, pain, anger, disbelief mingled with the simple joy that Mia exuded. Emily, he started, feeling the heat rise in his cheeks. Mia, doesn't he know? Not yet. His voice was steady though inside he felt like a storm. Emily nodded slowly, tears glistening in her eyes. I know, and I didn't come here to hurt her. But she deserves to know where she comes from, who she belongs to. Mia twisted a stray lock of hair around her finger, her blue eyes darting back and forth between them. What do you mean? Why is she here, Daddy? Tom's heart sank. He could feel the prelude of questions that could unravel everything he'd been shielding Mia from. He exchanged a glance with Emily, one full of pleading for understanding, for her to see this from his perspective. Look, Pumpkin, he began as he took a breath, steadying himself against the weight of her stare. Emily is a friend from a long time ago. A very important friend. Mia's brow furrowed in thought. You said friends don't come back after they leave. The truth of her words hit Tom like a cold slap. He had told her that friends should be loyal and present, not absent. But here he was, grappling with complexities that had no easy answers. Sometimes adults make mistakes, he said, feeling the tightness in his throat. And sometimes life gets harder than we think it could ever be. Emily edged closer, the desperation in her eyes evident. Mia, I'm your mom. I wanted to be part of your life, but I didn't know how. And I'm here now to fix things. But I live with Daddy, Mia interjected, her little voice trembling slightly. Does that mean you're not my mommy anymore? Tom's heart pounded. He looked at Emily. She seemed to shrink into herself, swallowing back a rush of emotions that threatened to spill over. No, sweetheart, he assured Mia, slipping an arm around her small shoulders. This doesn't change anything for you. You're still our little girl, and we both love you very much. But it feels funny, she said, tilting her head as if trying to understand a riddle beyond her years. I know it does, Tom said softly, fighting against the tightening in his chest. Things are confusing right now, but we'll get through this together. You're always going to be loved. Mia looked between the two adults, trying to piece together the fragments of their shared history that had suddenly emerged. Can we have cake now? She asked, breaking the tension like a beam of sunlight breaking through the clouds. Tom chuckled, the sound mingling with a mixture of relief and heartbreak. We can most definitely have cake. Mia bounced up, momentarily distracted from the weight of the revelations. As she wandered back to the kitchen, laughter bubbled up once more, a bright sound slicing through the heavy atmosphere. Emily turned back to Tom, her expression caught between hope and despair. I didn't want to complicate things, Tom. I didn't know if I'd ever see you again. How can we sort this out, Emily? He asked, the mention of their shared history making him feel beyond raw. Mia deserves so much more than secrets and lies. I want to do right by her. I will do anything if you let me be part of her life, she said, desperation flooding her voice. Tom looked at her, the woman he once knew now standing before him as a stranger entwined in the very framework of his reality. Let us start with honesty, he suggested, feeling a fire ignite within him. But understand, this is not just about you and me. We have to think about Mia. The words hung heavily in the air, a beckoning call into the treacherous waters ahead. Okay, Emily whispered, a flicker of determination lighting her eyes. Then let us be upfront and together, for her sake. But are you prepared for everything that comes with it? Tom's pulse quickened, the chasm of uncertainty wide before him. I guess we'll find out. But if we're going to do this, we need to be all in. Just then, Mia returned with a cake slice, grinning widely, unaware of the precarious balance they were all trying to maintain. Her sweet laughter filled the room once more. As Tom turned to his daughter, a thought crossed his mind, making him wonder what this next chapter would reveal. Could they really weave together a new story out of the tangled threads laid before them? Will you help us make a family, Dad? Mia asked innocently, her wide eyes filled with hope. The question hung between them, creating a choice more monumental than anything they faced so far. Tom's heart raced as he grappled with the possibilities. How could they dare to redefine what family truly meant? Mia waited for an answer, her small face radiating innocence and a desire for simplicity. Tom felt the weight of her gaze as if it were drilling right through him, peeling away layers of pretense, leaving behind the raw and vulnerable parts of his heart. He glanced at Emily, who looked both hopeful and terrified. They were standing on the edge of something monumental. We were going to try, he finally said, his voice trembling slightly. We're going to figure this out together. Together? Mia asked, tilting her head, her smile unwavering but her eyes searching for reassurance. Yes, Emily chimed in, kneeling to be at eye level with Mia. Together. Just like a family should be. Mia clapped her hands, the sound pure and untainted. Like a real family. That's right, Tom said, a smile creeping on his lips despite the tumult raging inside. He wished he could shield her from the pain that lay ahead, but he couldn't deny that the moment felt strangely right. Then can we have family game night? Mia suggested, clearly determined to steer the ship where she wanted it to go. With ice cream. Sure. Ice cream sounds great, Emily replied, her eyes brightening at the thought of bonding over something as silly and sweet as a favorite childhood activity, but Tom had a gnawing feeling in his gut. We can have fun, but we need to talk, too, he reminded them gently. About everything. Why everything? Mia asked, scrunching her nose. Wouldn't it be more fun to just play? Tom knelt beside his daughter, taking her hands in his. Sometimes, being a family means talking about the hard stuff. It helps us understand each other better. You deserve to know everything, especially if we're going to be meeting new feelings and new people. Mia's brows knitted together, and that familiar confusion danced in her eyes again. New feelings? Like happy ones? Exactly, he said, squeezing her hands gently. But also some not-so-happy ones. Emily looked at Tom, a silent plea in her eyes that they could make Mia understand, not just tolerate the sudden shift in their lives. "Mia, you're so loved by both of us," she said softly. "We're both trying to be more in your life, and that's a beautiful thing, right?" Mia's expression changed slowly, as if weighing their words with the solemnity of a tiny judge. "But are we all going to be together? All the time?" Tom's heart ached at the underlying longing in her question. "We're going to do our very best," he said, knowing very well that the road ahead would twist and turn in unexpected ways. "But things are going to change as we get used to each other." "Change is okay," Emily added firmly, her voice filled with a newfound strength. "It can be exciting, too. We can explore what that means for us together. We'll build something amazing, Mia, just like in the stories." Mia's eyes brightened. "Like the 3 little bears? Or the 3 amigos?" "Sure." Tom laughed, momentarily lightening the heaviness, "just like that. We can be a team, figuring out our own fairy tale. Or like superheroes." Mia jumped in, her excitement bubbling up again. "We can all save the day." Smiling, Tom and Emily shared a glance beyond the uncertainties. There was a chance of hope. "Yes. Superheroes stick together," he said, feeling a flicker of possibility ignite in him. "But what if it's hard to be a superhero?" Mia asked, her voice quieter now. Tom took a deep breath. "Then we'll lean on each other. That's what family means." He presented her with warmth, hoping it would surface through the haze of their reality. Mia nodded, although uncertainty still lingered on her face. "Okay." As they embraced, the warmth of the moment wrapped around them tightly, providing solace from the complicated world outside. But while the embrace felt safe, Tom knew that the real challenge was just beginning. Memories and desires, buried emotions so deeply entwined, could not be easily untangled that he sensed a shift in the air. What would it mean for their new so-called superhero family? Could they really save the day together, or would they find themselves caught in a whirlwind of unanticipated struggles? Tom pulled away, glancing at Emily, the very foundation of their family shifting like a soft breeze. "Are we ready for this?" Mia put her little hands on her hips, a newfound determination brightening her blue eyes. "I think so. But what about cake? Can we eat cake while we're being heroes?" Just as laughter erupted once more, Tom felt a pulse of warmth, the tension that once consumed him ebbing away, replaced by the unexpected joy of the moment. But in the back of his mind, a question lingered: how would they navigate the battles that lay ahead? "Let us go get that cake, superhero," he said, hiding his worry behind a smile. "And then we'll face whatever comes next together." Yet as they moved toward the kitchen, a flicker of doubt crept into Tom's heart. What challenges awaited them, lurking just beyond the safe walls of their home? Tom led the way into the kitchen, his heart sinking just a little. He wanted to keep the atmosphere light and festive, but behind that smile, he felt the weight of the changes ahead pressing down like a heavy fog. Mia raced ahead, her little feet pattering on the wooden floor. She was bubbling with excitement, oblivious to the swirling questions in Tom's mind. The kitchen was bright and cheerful, filled with warm light and the comforting scent of vanilla. Emily began rummaging through the pantry, searching for cake mix and sprinkles. "Do we have chocolate?" Mia shouted, peering over the countertop, her eyes gleaming with joy as she imagined the sweet treat they would create. "No chocolate, but we have vanilla and strawberry," Emily replied, turning back with a box in hand, her smile wide. "Mix them," Mia exclaimed, arms flailing as if she had just discovered a new superhero power. "We can make a rainbow cake. Superhero style. Rainbow cake it is." Tom laughed, momentarily finding solace in Mia's infectious enthusiasm. They bustled around the kitchen, the bright colors of sprinkles and batter beginning to swirl together, much like their new family dynamic. As they measured and poured, the air filled with chatter and laughter. Mia stood on a stool, eagerly mixing the batter with more courage than skill. Tiny splatters of batter painted spots on the countertops, while her laughter rang out like music. Yet, amidst the joy of creating, Tom's mind drifted back to the conversation they had just had. It echoed in his thoughts like a gentle reminder that each joyful moment might come with strings of uncertainty. "Mia," he said, trying to sound casual even as he felt a knot in his stomach, "how do you feel about Emily being here?" Mia paused mid-stir, her brows furrowing slightly. "She makes funny pancakes," she chirped, quickly shifting back to the fun. "And she laughs a lot. I like her." Relief washed over Tom momentarily. Emily caught his eye, smiling as she carefully poured the colorful mixtures into cake pans. But curiosity lingered in Mia's voice, and to him, it felt like a thread connecting to something deeper. "What about when we all live together? Are we going to have to share our things?" Mia's voice was now filled with a hint of seriousness. Tom swallowed hard. "Sharing is part of being a family, sweet pea. It's a way to show love." Emily chimed in, "And families help each other out. Like how we're helping each other learn to bake. It's all about teamwork." "But," Mia leaned in closer, "what if I don't want my toys to be used?" Tom's heart sank at the unexpected question. "It's okay to feel that way. Change can be hard." He took a breath, wanting to alleviate her concern. "You'll always have your special things, and we can create new happy moments together." "But what about my old moments?" Mia asked, her voice lowering. Tom knelt beside her, gently brushing hair away from her face. "We'll find a way to keep them alive, too. Memories are special." Mia pondered this, twisting a strand of batter-coated hair around her finger. Her eyes flickered with the flicker of a thought nearly forming. "Like a time capsule?" "Yes. Just like a time capsule," Tom agreed, relief once again fluttering in his chest. "We can talk about the past and keep those memories close while still making new ones." With that, they finished pouring the last of the batter into the pans. Mia dashed outside to grab her coloring books. She wanted to decorate the cake with drawings while it baked, and the sense of excitement she radiated filled the kitchen with a warmth that felt almost protective. "Did you see how she shifted?" Emily asked, leaning against the counter as they put the cakes into the oven. "She is braver than we think." "Yeah," Tom murmured, watching the oven light flicker. "But I worry what happens when those fears come back. What if she feels neglected or confused again?" Before Emily could reply, Mia dashed back in, cradling colorful pages of drawings. She was beaming. "Look, I made flowers for the cake." Tom couldn't help but smile back, though the lingering worry remained. As they started planning how to frost the cake, he wondered how long the joy would last, how they could teach the delicate balance of love and sharing amidst the fears of loss. Hours later, after the cake was frosted and decorated with Mia's creative masterpieces, laughter and warmth filled their home. Yet as the evening waned, and the sun dipped below the horizon, an unexpected knock echoed through the house. Tom's heart stuttered. He exchanged a glance with Emily. "What now? Who could that be?" Mia asked, her small face lighting up with curiosity. Tom felt a chill run down his spine. "Let us find out." As they approached the door, a surge of unknowing filled the air. What surprises awaited them on the other side? Tom opened the door slowly, his pulse racing. Standing before him was a familiar face, yet oddly foreign, a young boy with an anxious expression, clutching a brightly colored envelope that contrasted starkly with the uneasy air surrounding them. Hi. Is Mia here?" the boy asked, shifting on his feet as he caught sight of Tom. "Mia?" Tom called over his shoulder, a gentle urgency lacing his words. "Sweetheart, someone's here to see you." Almost instantly, Mia bounded to the door, her enthusiasm illuminating the dim hallway. "Who is it?" she asked, eyes sparkling with childlike wonder. The moment her gaze fell on the boy, her excitement flared even brighter. "Ethan!" she squealed, throwing herself into an ecstatic hug. "Did you come to play?" Mia's question spilled out between giggles, her innocence blurring the edges of the complexity around them. Yeah. I brought you something. Ethan replied, thrusting the envelope into Mia's outstretched hands. As she tore it open, laughter bubbled over, filling the space with warmth once more. Tom stood to the side, watching the scene unfold, a rush of nostalgia washing over him. He remembered the simple joys of childhood, friendships built on imagination and possibility, before adult complications twisted their lives. Ethan. Do you want to come in? Mia asked, her voice effervescent, inviting the boy deeper into their brightly lit living room. Sure, Ethan said cautiously, glancing at Tom, who gave him a soft nod of encouragement. The tension in Tom's chest lifted a little, reassured by this moment of unadulterated youth that held no judgment or barriers, just the raw thrill of companionship. As they settled in, the day unraveled its tapestry of laughter and play, each moment stitched together with stories and dreams. Tom and Emily looked on, the weight of their earlier conversations temporarily lifted, drawn into the innocence of the moment. Watch this! Mia shouted, darting towards the living room, and the boys soon followed. Laughter echoed as they leapt off the couch, their giggles cascading down the hallway, spilling into the hearts of those around them. Tom looked at Emily, their eyes connecting over the beauty of this small joy, a reminder that family, no matter how it's formed, can bloom out of unexpected moments. The heaviness of the earlier revelations felt pushed aside, if only for now. Later, as they gathered around the table for cake, the sweet scents lingering in the air igniting happiness, Tom felt himself easing more into the uncertainty ahead. The connections they were forging, though complicated, held the promise of love and community. As they shared the cake decorated with Mia's colorful drawings, Tom joined in the laughter, savoring every bite and every smile, feeling warmth suffusing through the room. Things were changing, shifting underfoot, but perhaps this new family could weave together something beautiful as they stumbled through it all. Mia's laughter rang clear like a bell, breaking through the tension that had once filled his heart. Can we play games next? She asked, looking from Tom to Emily, her eyes wide with excitement. Absolutely. Tom grinned, feeling lighter. He turned to Emily, their silent agreement shimmering in the air. Let us do this together, yes. She said, her voice wrapping around him like a hug. Together. No matter what. Tom replied, his heart swelling with hope. As the evening faded into a tapestry of laughter, stories, and warmth, Tom realized they were weaving a new fabric for their lives, one brightened by the laughter of a child and connected by shared journeys ahead. And with each passing moment, it became clearer, they could navigate this path together, stand united against the unknown, and forge a new definition of family. Because amidst the complexities of love and loss, there was always room for a fresh start. In that moment, everything felt right. But it was just the beginning. Now, it's your turn to be part of this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformative tale. This is the moment to show your support, so don't wait not even one more second to share it. Only true fans understand how important these actions are for the channel.